had awoken. Even in the deepness of my slumber I knew every sound within these walls, and that had been no settling creak. Someone was here. The room was dark and it would take time for my eyes to adjust, time I may not have. Blind, I had to maneuver my way as quietly as I could, not only out of my bed but towards something with which to defend myself, reaching with one hand even as I felt along the texture of the wall for that elusive switch that would flood the room with light. This could serve to further give my possible attacker a further advantage, but no one in the history of this type of situation ever acted logically. My mind was whirling over every story I had seen flicker late at night across the television screen. No comfortable person ever paused before plunging headlong into that foreboding wood, that uninviting house or cabin, up those stairs. It was how all the best and worst horrors played out. We were creatures of habit who loved to be scared and thrilled by fiction as it was rooted somewhat in reality, a reality which I now might be facing as I raised my weapon of choice and... Oh my God! The voice echoed about the walls and I was forced to recognize not an enemy, but a friend. I flickered on the whole light, further blinding both of us. What the hell? What are you doing here, creeping about in the dark at this hour? I responded as I lowered my arm and placed the bat down against the wall. Did not feel I had been as irrational in my actions as her facial expression suggested I had. I didn't want to wake you, as it is so late. I thought I would come see how you were doing out here, she said, still standing defensively as if she expected me to whip the bat up out of its resting place and whack her over the head. Part of me wondered if she could have blamed me as I had. We were not kids creeping around like those people in those movies we watched as children into places feet should not tread. I rolled my eyes. There was a key point I made about having bought this place and come out here, was there not? Point about being able to be alone and try and write something new. I felt hot inside with irritation. I felt like I had not been here but 5 minutes and people thought it was okay to come out and check up on me. Since how it's me, I didn't think you would mind, she responded. I hid the clenching of one of my hands into a fist from her as I fought to control myself enough to actually offer her beverages and other sustenance now she was here in the dead of night, as if I'd not had enough memory lane trying to push the forefront of my mind today. Went into the kitchen dining area and sat together at the table while the freshly filled kettle sparked to life. So, have you come up with anything yet? She was fishing because she could not think of any topic to open on the disguise the fact this was what she had come up here to do, be nosy. I hardly think I have had much of a chance to do more than soak up some rays and let her mind wander before you popped up and nearly had your head caved in. Honestly, who shows up in the dead of night and doesn't expect to be whipped at by a bat? I quizzed. Don't pretend you're not now pleased to see me anyway. It's not as if I am him, is it? She retorted. I stifled a bodily shudder. I wondered as I sat here now if I was the only one who'd cast their mind back today to that night. I'd been sat in the warmth of what was essentially the desert sun, and it had still been enough to momentarily keep me chilled at the memory. Though it had not kept me from drifting to sleep, it had to have been what caused me to instinctively reach for protection, as if it was him somehow impossibly come to get me. The thought returned to me from that memory now, same as then, we were foolish to ignore our fear and rationale, and I raised my head to look at her. This was the story I was meant to tell.